Hi, I'm Samantha Heil, Executive Director of Book Fair at Bel Air, and I'd love to invite you to one of the biggest bookish events in the region. Join us on Saturday, August 8th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at APG FCU Arena at Hartford Community College for a free, family-friendly event celebrating books, readers, and community. Book Fair at Bel Air features more than 110 authors and vendors, best-selling featured authors, kids' activities, face painting, story time, arts and crafts, photo ops, and plenty of fun for readers of all ages. Whether you're a lifelong reader, raising future bookworms, or just looking for a unique day out with the family, there's something for everyone at Book Fair at Bel Air. Learn more at www.bookfairatbelair.org or follow us on Instagram at Book Fair at Bel Air. We hope to see you there this August.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Hartford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch affairs.
It's probably the least sexy part of organizing. No. The truth is,
As much as I love interviewing incredible guests from all walks of life, every once in a while, I want to pull up a chair, sit down with you, and just have a conversation. No guest, no interview, just you and me. And today's topic is something I'm incredibly passionate about because over the years, I've seen firsthand just how powerful it can be. Not only for businesses and entrepreneurs, but for authors, nonprofit leaders, artists, musicians, other podcasters, really anyone with a message to share. And that's this: your story is your greatest marketing tool. Now, before you think, Rich, I'm not in marketing, just stay with me, okay? Because this isn't really about marketing. It's about people. It's about relationships. It's about trust. And it's about why sharing your story can open doors you never imagined. Then before we wrap up today, I want to ask you something about a new idea I've been kicking around. So make sure you stick with me until the very end. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, one of the biggest misconceptions I hear is nobody wants to hear my story. Really? Because I don't believe that for a second. I've interviewed business owners who started with nothing but an idea. Authors who spent years wondering if anyone would ever read their book. People who battled addiction and came out stronger on the other side. Veterans who served our country. Musicians who they chased that dream. Nonprofit leaders that are changing lives every single day. Teachers, doctors, artists, parents, people from all walks of life. You know what every one of them had in common? A story worth telling. Not because they were famous, not because they were wealthy, because they were real. People connect with authenticity. They connect with honesty. They connect with stories. Here's something I've learned after hundreds of conversations. People don't just buy products. They don't just buy services. They buy people. Think about it. If two businesses offer exactly the same thing, one has a great website, the other one has a great story, which one are you more likely to remember? Probably the one whose owner shared why they started the business. The one who talked about the struggles, the lessons, the victories, the people they've helped. That's what creates trust. And trust is what builds lasting relationships. This is one of the reasons I love podcasting so much. A commercial interrupts your day. A conversation becomes part of it. When someone spends 30 or 45 minutes or 60 minutes, sometimes even longer, listening to you, they get to know you. They hear your laugh. They hear your passion. They hear your personality. And they hear why you care about what you do. You simply can't get that from a 30-second commercial. That's why podcasts are such an incredible opportunity. Not because you're selling something, but because you're connecting with people. If you've ever thought about being a guest on a podcast, here's my biggest piece of advice. Don't turn it into an infomercial. Nobody wants to hear someone spend 45 minutes talking about how amazing they are. Instead, tell stories. Teach something. Make people laugh. Share a lesson you've learned. Even talk about your failures. Talk about what you've overcome, because those are the things people remember. If listeners connect with you, they'll find your business. They'll buy your book. They'll visit your website, and they'll reach out. You don't have to force it. Sometimes people say, but Rich, I'm just a plumber, or I'm just an accountant, or I'm just a realtor. No, you're not. Why did you become a plumber? Who inspired you? What's the craziest repair you've ever made? What's the biggest mistake homeowners make? How have you helped a family in a stressful situation? Now you're not talking about plumbing. You're talking about people. Every profession has stories. Every business changes someone's life in one way or another. Every entrepreneur has lessons worth sharing. Here's something I don't think enough people talk about. Podcast interviews become part of your legacy. Think about that. Years from now, your kids, your grandkids, future employees, future customers, they can hear your voice. They can't hear that on a 30-second commercial that no longer airs on radio or TV. They can't hear that in a magazine article, ad, or even newspaper. They can hear your voice, your excitement, your laughter, your wisdom, and your passion. That's something that no business card, brochure, or even social media post can ever replace. One of the greatest privileges of hosting this podcast has been meeting people I never would have crossed paths with otherwise. Some are nationally recognized. Some have never been interviewed before. But almost every single guest has reminded me of the same thing. When people talk about something they truly care about, you can hear it. You can hear their purpose. You can hear their heart. And honestly, that's where the magic happens. Not when someone tells you what they do, but when they tell you why they do it. So here's my challenge to you. Stop wondering if your story matters, because it does. Whether you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, an author, a nonprofit leader, an artist, a coach, or someone who's simply trying to make a difference, share your story, because someone out there needs to hear it. Someone needs your experience. Someone definitely needs your encouragement, and someone needs your lesson. And you never know whose life you'll impact simply by having one honest conversation. And before I wrap up, I want to ask you something. This episode's a little different from my usual interviews. Over the years, I've had the privilege of sitting down with hundreds of incredible guests, and those conversations have taught me lessons that go far beyond podcasting. A lot of them have become mentors to me. They've taught me about business, leadership, branding, relationships, community, resilience, and what it really takes to build trust. And I've been thinking about creating a monthly solo episode called The Business of Conversation with Rich Bennett. I'm not getting rid of Conversations with Rich Bennett. This would be another podcast under this name. So The Business of Conversation with Rich Bennett. It would be a chance for me to share those lessons, offer practical advice, and have a different kind of conversation with you, the listener. But I don't want to make that decision by myself. I would love to hear from you. Is this something you'd enjoy listening to every month? And what topics would you like me to cover? Would you like to hear about branding, marketing, podcast guesting, building relationships, growing your business, leadership, community involvement, or maybe something even completely different? Because of this podcast, I've had a lot of teachers. Leave a comment wherever you're listening. Send me a message on social media or visit conversationswithrichbennett.com and reach out. You can email me through there. You can actually even leave a voicemail. I really do want to hear your thoughts because this podcast has always been about the conversation, and the best conversations go both ways. If enough of you tell me this is something you'd enjoy, then you just might hear The Business of Conversation with Rich Bennett become a regular part or umbrella of Conversations with Rich Bennett. If today's conversation encouraged you, I'd really appreciate it if you shared this episode with someone who's building a business, writing a book, leading a nonprofit, or thinking about starting one, launching a podcast, or simply wondering if their story is worth telling. Because here's what I believe. Your story isn't just part of your past. It could be exactly what someone else needs to hear to change their future. Thank you for spending your day with me. Until next time, I'm Rich Bennett. Thanks for listening, and remember, every great conversation starts with someone willing to listen and someone willing to share. And now it's your turn. Join the conversation by sharing this episode, leaving a comment, or reaching out to me directly. Take care, be kind to one another, and I'll talk with you again soon.